everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to Lookback. This is where I go back a year, 5 years, and sometimes 10 years ago and tell you about the reviews I did then. This is the second last week I'm going to tell you this, but 10 years ago I was moving to America, from Korea, so I don't have any reviews then. But from 1 and 5 years ago I do. And this time of year always, I review a lot of games I tend to like because it's right after Gen Con. So I play all the hot stuff after Gen Con, and that's what happened. So let's take a look last year. First I reviewed King Me, which actually is not good at all. This is a gigantic game of checkers, essentially, with victory point cards, but so much luck and randomness. Not good. Mr. Face, this is a little game from Oink Games, and I like Oink Games for the most part, but I was not a fan of this one. It's a one-note thing. Make a face, what's the expression? Red Peak, this is a cooperative game where you're running from volcano lava chasing you to get on a boat. There's some interesting ideas to this game, and we all reviewed it, and I liked it the least of everybody, but at the same time, it was just very much on a path. You just did what you did each turn. I didn't feel like there was a lot of variety in it. Magic Fold, I think this is the third or fourth game in this let's fold a cloth together. It's okay, I'm just getting a little weary of this type of game. Bargain Quest. This one here is actually a pretty big drop comparatively. I really liked Bargain Quest, but I have to say that on repeat playings, and I've played it since then, it just hasn't stood up as well for me. I still like it okay, but the bidding and the luck, and it is easy in this game to get completely shut out, and it's probably longer than it needs to be. I really enjoyed it at first, and this doesn't happen very often, but this is one of those games that just has faded from me pretty quickly. Wordsmith, this is a game about making words with different shapes from the same folks who made Cosmic Encounter, although nothing alike. It was a decent, fun word game. Medium. This one took the world by storm at Gen Con and then kind of has fallen off the radar. But this is essentially where you and someone else are trying to get each other to, you have two words and you're trying to think of a word that's the medium between those two words and you say it at the same time. And then if that fails, then you say a word that's between the two words you just said. It's more of an activity and an entertaining thing than it is actually a game, but it is a lot of fun, especially fun to watch. Mega City Oceania, mixing dexterity with strategy as you build this city of all these blocks. I actually thought this was a pretty fun, unique type game. Reavers of Midgard, the sequel to Champions of Midgard. This is the Euro version of the other one, you're rolling dice fighting monsters. This one, you're drafting cards that are worth points using dice. It's very well done. It's a very strong put together game. I don't like it as much as Champions, but Champions is one of my favorite games. Still very solid, and when I took it to conventions over the course of the year, this one got a lot of play. Pipeline. This one I really, really toyed with the idea of moving it up to an 8.5. I really like Pipeline. It is a strong, deep economic game mixed with connecting pipes and building these long pipes. For some reason, that combination just really tickles me, and I find that I just want to go back and play this one again. Map Maker, the gerrymandering game. This one thrills me. Some kids put this one together, teenagers, and I love the idea of this. It's a game that takes something that's fairly political and takes the nasty political part out of it and just talks about gerrymandering. It's to show you that it's bad by turning it into a game where you're pretty vicious about gerrymandering these lines. It's a solid game. Check it out. And then QE. QE, man, this is a weird auction game that I just love, where you can bid anything you want, but whoever bids the most money at the end of the game loses. But you can literally build $1 trillion if you want. Super fun. All right, 5 years ago, I took a look at Ryu. Dragons in Space, beautiful art, but the game itself is just a really big dud. Secret Santa from Osprey. I love the idea of a Secret Santa, giving stuff to other people. Kind of like a riff on Cockroach Poker to some degree, but this one just didn't work very well. Monster Factory. This is from Donald Vaccarino, who did Kingdom Builder and, of course, Dominion. But this is a kid's game about building monsters. A good game for kids. WWE Superstar Showdown. I like this one. This is from Gale Force 9, so they know how to take IPs and make good games about them. It's a fun little wrestling game. I dinged it a bit because I liked it, but this is one of those games that needs more. It came, I think, with 8 wrestlers, and I was waiting for many other wrestlers, and they just never showed up. Vault Wars. This is a unique game about opening vaults and getting the stuff that's inside them, a back and forth game. This one is a small little game, I think, that packs a bigger punch than it might appear at first. Discoveries, The Journey of Lewis and Clark. I did not like Lewis and Clark, the board game. I thought it was too slow. It was like a really slow race. Discoveries I liked a lot more. The dice game in which you roll dice, and the dice that you play, you can take other people's dice, but they can be taken back from you. There's a lot of unique, interesting things about this game. Ashes. Now this one's interesting. You'll notice my rating here has dinged slightly, but that's also because I haven't played it a while, and I know the artwork here gets a 10 out of 10. The artwork for Ashes is unbelievable. It's a dice, it's a card game that uses dice as resources. Now, when they come out with the new sets of Ashes, this might shoot back up there, so we'll have to wait and see. Plaid Hat certainly has my instant recognition. I'm very much pleased to see what they come out with, so this one might jump back up. One Night Revolution. This is a mix of One Night Ultimate Werewolf and Revolution. The combo is really well done, but I'm having a little bit harder time, well, obviously, getting this at a table these days, and I'm finding that other social deduction games have zoomed up on this one a bit. Warband, Against the Darkness. This is a really strange game. It does not look good at all, unfortunately. But a game in which you are sending out troops to the battle to fight things, and you're moving them up on this track. It's a really hard game to explain because it's very little that's like it, but it is unique and interesting. To watch my review. Civilizations. Weird name, but in this game you're building up a civilization with cards. It's very, very, very light. It's a sequel to CV, which is also light. I think I like Civilizations better, actually. And then Cash and Gun 2nd Edition 5 years ago. Still really enjoyed this game, in which it's basically the end of a movie and you just have all the loot and you're splitting it up. 2nd Edition has superseded the first one for me. And I distinctly remember the first time I played this was at Gen Con in the lobby 5 years ago. Super fun game. Had played it several times since then. So those are the reviews that I did 1 and 5 years ago. Thanks so much for watching Lookback. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and this is the Dice Tower.